What are the best and most reliable cars that you can buy for under 25 grand? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. If you're in the market for a car or small crossover SUV that's super affordably priced, reliable and built to last with minimal repair costs, then this video is for you. I'm going to go through 5 of the very best cars, hatchbacks, and crossover SUVs that you can buy for under 25 grand that have amazing reputations for strong reliability and low repair costs. I'm also going to share a few affordable new cars that didn't make the cut for the top 5 list, and I'm also going to explain why. So if you're shopping for a brand new car on a budget, then make sure to stick around until the end of this video. Now, if you're like many consumers and want to buy a small crossover SUV but need to buy one on a very tight budget, then take a look at my number 5 pick on this list, which is the Mazda CX-3. If you want to buy a brand new crossover SUV for under 25 grand, then the CX-3 is one that you definitely need to take a close look at. Like most Mazdas, the CX-3 has a very strong reputation for reliability and very low repair costs over time. Mazdas are extremely well known for their very strong build quality, and what makes them such reliable vehicles is the fact that they don't use any complicated modern technology that's going to give you issues over time. With the CX-3, you get a simple 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, as well as a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission. And because the CX-3 has a small efficient engine and is a lightweight small SUV, it has surprisingly good fuel economy too. You can get up to around 35 miles per gallon or around 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is very good fuel efficiency for an SUV. And like most crossovers, the CX-3 gives you the choice between either front-wheel drive or optional all-wheel drive, although for this budget you might have to settle for the front-wheel drive model. The CX-3 is also a fun driving crossover with a well-designed interior that comes with a pretty decent infotainment system with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. You also get plenty of active safety features like automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert. The only real drawback with the CX-3 is that it is a very small crossover, which means that you don't get a lot of interior space. It does have a very cramped back seat, and the cargo area is not as spacious as you might think. So this is ultimately going to be one for those who really want that crossover look, but ultimately are not prioritizing practicality. If you do want an affordable car that's a little bit more practical, however, then take a look at my number 4 pick on this list, which is the Subaru Impreza. For under 25 grand, the Impreza is an excellent way to get into the door of Subaru ownership and enjoy most of the benefits that you get with many other Subaru models. For one thing, all Imprezas come standard with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive system, which is a huge bonus, especially for those who live where weather can get pretty nasty. The standard all-wheel drive system gives the Impreza a pretty nice bonus over most other compact cars, most of which don't even offer all-wheel drive. And the Impreza is a pretty efficient car as well, with a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine making around 150 horsepower. You can also get it with a choice between either a 5-speed manual or a continuously variable automatic transmission, and it even offers the choice between either a conventional sedan body style or a more practical hatchback. The hatchback would be the one that I would go for because it does give you a lot more cargo space. And the interior of the Impreza is pretty nice as well, with a standard 6.5-inch touchscreen infotainment system with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. You also get Subaru's EyeSight active safety technology with features like automatic emergency braking and lane keep assist. And like many modern Subarus, the Impreza does have a strong reputation for reliability, so you can keep one for a very long time without needing to worry about any major expensive repairs. Subaru's boxer engines and CVT transmissions are not quite as good as the very best on the market, but they are reliable and known to last. But if you do want something that's maybe just a little bit more solid and well proven, then take a look at my number 3 pick, which is going to be the Honda Civic. This one probably won't be a surprise to many because the Civic has long been known as one of the most affordable and reliable cars that you can buy. Like many Honda models, Civics are known for their longevity, and part of that has to do with the fact that Honda makes some pretty reliable engines. For 25 grand, you're going to have to go with the base LX model, which uses a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. Now, it is a pretty modest drivetrain, but it produces plenty of power and also gets amazing fuel economy as well. And the Civic is also a great driving car with comfortable ride quality, sharp handling, and just a fun overall feel. It's extremely solid feeling and well built too, especially when it comes to the interior space. This is one of the nicest interiors that you're going to find in any car at this price point. It's also incredibly well equipped with a really well designed touchscreen infotainment system that has both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. There's also a surprising amount of space with a very roomy backseat and a really good sized trunk too. And the Civic also comes with a very generous list of active safety technology, which is part of Honda Sensing. This includes features like automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning with lane keep assist, and even adaptive cruise control. Some of these are features that you have to pay extra for on much more expensive cars, but with the Civic, they come as standard. Now, the only real reason why the Civic hasn't earned a higher spot on this list is because it does cost more money than the other two cars on this list. So if your priority is not only reliability, but also buying the most affordable car possible, then let's move on to number 2 on this list, which is going to be the Mazda 3. The Mazda 3 is easily one of the very best cars that you can buy for under 25 grand. It's just a very well-rounded car with an amazing design, a great driving experience, and an outstanding reputation for long-term reliability. Like I said earlier in the video, Mazdas are known to be extremely reliable and long-lasting, and you really don't need to worry about expensive repairs if you go for a Mazda 3. It uses a simple and well-proven naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with a conventional 6-speed automatic or 6-speed manual transmission, which are optimized for longevity. The Mazda 3 is one of the few cars left in the market that uses these simple, well-proven components, but they really do pay off when it comes to long-term reliability. And not only is it a very reliable car, but it's also very well designed and quite fun to drive too. Mazdas are known for their very sporty feel, so if you're looking for a small affordable car that's also very fun to drive, the Mazda 3 is a very good choice. It also has a surprisingly nice interior with lots of premium feeling materials and great features for the money. All models come standard with a fairly large 8.8-inch infotainment system with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. You also get standard automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert. And even though the Mazda 3 is not the most spacious car in its class, it does give you the choice between either a sedan or a more practical hatchback, which is really nice to see. And if you're willing to go above the $25,000 budget, you get all kinds of extra options like a more powerful 2.5-liter engine and even the choice of all-wheel drive. The Mazda 3 is an incredibly well-rounded car and an easy recommendation for anybody shopping on a budget. But ultimately, this list is about reliability and affordability, and if that's your priority, then there is one other car that just barely beats out the Mazda 3, and that car is the Toyota Corolla. If you're looking for both the most affordable and reliable car on the market, then the Toyota Corolla is an easy choice. For everything that it offers, you just can't beat it for the money. The Corolla starts around $21,000 US or $23,000 Canadian with an all-in price that includes an automatic transmission, making it one of the most affordable cars on the market. It also makes it $1,000 to $2,000 cheaper than the other cars on this list. But just because it's the cheapest car doesn't mean that you're missing out on anything. The Corolla has one of the very best reputations for reliability on the market, and this is a car that you can easily hold on to for 10 to 15 years without spending any money on major repairs. Part of that reliability is thanks to a very simple and well-proven 1.8-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that also gets very good fuel economy too. You also get a well-equipped interior with the Corolla with a standard touchscreen infotainment system with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also get plenty of active safety features as part of Toyota Safety Sense, which gives you features like automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and lane keep assist. To get all of that for such an affordable price point and with such an amazing reputation for reliability is pretty amazing. And like the other cars on this list, the Corolla is very well known for strong resale value, so it's not going to lose a lot of money over time. At the end of the day, the Corolla is just a very well-rounded and desirable car. And if you're shopping for an affordable car for under 25 grand that's going to last you as long as possible, it's really hard to find anything that's going to be any better. Now I know what some of you are going to say, hold on, what about the other cars on the market for under 25 grand? Why didn't they make the top 5 list? Well, the reality is that there are other great cars that you can buy for under 25 grand, but all of them have one issue or another that does prevent them from taking the top 5 spots on this list. Take for example any of Nissan's affordable cars like the Kicks crossover, the Versa, or the Sentra. Now all of these are very well designed cars and they are very affordably priced too. The only issue with them though is that they are plagued by one major issue that has haunted Nissan for almost 2 decades, and that issue has to do with the use of the continuously variable CVT transmission. Now, the majority of cars do use a CVT, but the issue with Nissan CVT is that it has a history of having major problems and can be extremely expensive to replace. This was a major issue back in the early 2000s, all the way up to around 2015, where many customers had to replace their CVTs left and right at a cost of up to $7,000. Now, fortunately, Nissan has improved the quality of their CVTs over time, and you really don't hear about as many failures as you did in the past. But even if the risk of failure is much lower than it was in the past, the fear is still there, and they're just not the safest picks when compared to the other cars on this list. The same is also true of most of Kia and Hyundai's affordable cars, including the Kia Forte and the Hyundai Elantra. Now, these are well-designed cars and they do offer amazing value in terms of what you get for your money. The only major issue with them is that, very much like Nissan, they are haunted by one major mechanical issue that can completely taint the ownership experience. Unfortunately, both Hyundai and Kia are part of a very major safety recall, which has affected over 3 million cars built between 2010 and 2021. This recall involves both the 2-liter and 2.4-liter engines, which are used on a variety of Hyundai and Kia models, including both the Elantra and the Forte. In rare circumstances, these engines can completely seize up and fail, or even catch on fire. And this major failure can occur even if you've maintained your car above the factory recommendations with no warning signs. Now, the companies do have a recall in place, but it only involves installing a knock sensor that warns you when engine failure is about to happen, and it doesn't actually solve or address the problem. At the end of the day, it's just not worth the risk or worth buying one of these cars without a factory warranty, which is why they don't have the best reputation for long-term reliability when compared to the other cars on this list. In order to recommend a fully reliable car to any one of my clients or viewers, I have to recommend something that I have absolutely no reservations about, and that could only be one of the cars on this list. So if you're shopping for an affordable car that's built to last as long as possible, now you know what to focus on. So let me know what you thought of the cars on this list. Which one of them would you buy, or would you buy something else instead? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at some of my other car videos by checking out these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.